Okay, we're live. Let me take care of my business now. Go in here, content, live. Turn this on. Save. Chat replay. I don't know why this won't stay checked. Save. Okay. We're up and going. Let me pull this up now. Oh crap. Hey Gary. I didn't want that. Skip version. Shut this off. We want the Zoom meeting open right there. And we'll pull it over to here so I can see the chat running. And we'll get rid of this. Okay. All right, we're up and rolling. Welcome to the Monday night hangout meeting, BS session, what have you. I didn't work on this today. Had some things to do. Thanks for the likes. Yo. There comes Carl. Boy, you're early tonight, Carl. He's connecting. He's always got low bandwidth. Mix up some of this. We'll need that. Carl, you're muted and you got no picture. There you are. You're early tonight.
Oh, am I? Okay, well, I wasn't too sure what time the program starts here in, California time. So
What time is it there now?
it's 5:03 our time right now.
Well, it starts at 5 o'clock your time.
Oh, okay, so then I'm right on time, aren't I?
Yeah. But I normally don't see you come in till way later.
Well, that's because I either get a late start or I wake up from a late afternoon nap or something ties me from coming in.
Well, that's all right. There should be more along here in a few minutes.
Sure. What you working on?
My new stunt plane, new airplane.
Yeah.
Gonna be a jet style. Here we go. Gary Sinclair.
There he is.
There you are. Still connecting to audio.
Yeah. Is this gonna be electric or nitro?
I don't fly electric.
Oh, okay.
I
So
built 7 purpose-built electric airplanes.
yeah.
I was not happy with them.
Mm.
And
So
until Super Tiger 60, until I can see a vast improvement, I'm going to stick with my Super Tigers.
Oh, okay. So is that all you fly with? Is just Super Tiger engines?
Well, I have some PAs.
Yeah. Hey Gary, how are you today?
Pretty good.
Yeah. What you been doing to keep yourself busy?
Just cleaning the house,
Yeah,
getting rid of stuff.
yeah. Well, we're going to be doing the same thing here. Hopefully, by 2 weeks from now, my wife and I are finishing up the final details when we bought a house in Nevada, in Nevada. So,
Somebody's got a crackling mic. I don't know who that is.
sorry.
Can't hear you, Phil. You're muted.
Oh, I hadn't said anything yet. Shouldn't be muted though.
Well, you're not now.
Okay, yeah, all right.
Right there. What's that?
I don't know, but it sure is. I'm not moving, so it wasn't me.
Yeah, it must be.
I don't know, but we can't have that during the program.
No, what is this nose over here that one side's longer than the other? What's that all about, Sparky?
It's getting ready to get glued up.
Ah. What are you building?
The airplane I'm almost done with. The wing that I built, the elevator stabilizer I built, now the fuselage.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's the new one. Okay.
And there's the elevator stabilizer.
That looks nice.
The wing's over yonder.
You do pretty work. You're still a wild man, but you do pretty work.
Yeah. Real easy.
I had never tried that before. There's
Right.
a button popped up I'd never seen before. It says blur my background. So I hit it. And sure enough, it does.
It does.
That's weird. I've never seen that before. Huh.
I just got to figure out how to blur your face.
Well, I notice you stay off camera as much as possible. So, both of us have faces for radio, but
Right. Carl, I think that might be you rustling around. Yeah, it is. Your microphone is making all kind of noise.
Carl, I got a question for you. Why are you moving to Nevada? I mean, you got it knocked in California, gorgeous weather.
Oh, God.
I didn't think you guys ever needed to wear a hoodie.
Why is this thing not working?
I don't know. That's a good question. Things are working weird tonight.
Well, I just muted Carl. See if it's him.
Yeah.
And I think it is.
I like your shirt, Sparky. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Where'd you find that blur background?
It just was
Button.
a thing that popped up on the side over here. I'd never seen it before, and I just said, well, blur background. Hey, I'll try that. Now I don't know how to get it back to unblur it, and I don't know how to get it back to anything else. So I may have a problem, but you play the game, you take your chances. That's the beauty of having a wife who's a whiz with a computer, because I'm not.
Let's see.
That makes two of us there, buddy.
Don't you hear me again? Why are you leaving California, man? You got beautiful weather and great people to fly with.
Well, because we have a chance to buy a house with my BA certificate.
Yeah.
And our mortgage is only a few $100s more than what we're paying for rent now.
Oh, okay. Say no more. I understand.
So,
what part of Nevada are you moving to?
Paul Rump.
Okay, that I don't know where it is.
Well, if you're coming, if you're coming north on 15 from San Diego, you come to a turn up for Baker.
Yeah.
And then you take that and go through Baker, and then right after you go through Baker, there's another highway that takes off to the left. I think it's 178 or 128 or something like that. And it takes you up through the valley, through the mountains, and it's right on the very edge of Death Valley.
Oh, brother.
But
you're moving into the heat section.
Well, now you're hardly get there in Santee.
Okay.
And we're only an hour and a half drive from Vegas, so.
Yeah.
I'm from that area, Carl. I'll guarantee you, Pahrump is hotter than Santee.
Well, that might be, but because I'm retired, my wife's retired, we don't have to go out and work in the heat or unless we want to.
Everybody sleeps during the day and goes out at night.
Yeah.
If you're going to mow your grass, you're going to do it at 10 o'clock at night.
Well, that's the beauty of it. There is no grass. Our yard is all gravel. Because it's just, as well as I do, it's nothing but desert up there.
That blur your background is go down to your camera on the left-hand side, and there's a little up arrow where it says video.
Yeah.
Up arrow, and it'll have blur my background in that. Uncheck it if you want to straighten it out.
Oh. Who are you talking to?
I'll get it later, but I appreciate that. I'll do that before we get through. It says blur my background, choose viral background, choose video filter, and choose avatar. Oh, I can be an avatar, guys. I think I'll leave it like it is for the time being. Very interesting. I don't know nothing about computers.
I don't either.
I know how to repair them, but don't ask me to operate them. I can take it apart.
Don't take much brains to repair them. There's only 5 parts.
And I beg to differ with you there, brother.
Yeah.
Computers I worked on were lots of parts.
Motherboard, power supply, video card.
Problem is I had to repair the video card and the motherboard and the power, all the different components. You're talking there's 5 different units, but the units have to be repaired too. I had to do it all. I was the only one in there that was certified to do it.
Yeah, how many parts per unit?
Yeah, that's a good question. The thing that got me, the thing that would always break was a little bitty thing that looked for the world like a diode. It was actually a fuse, and they put it up in under some other stuff. So you had to take 3 parts off to get to this full thing, because the legs had to be long enough to go completely through the board and attach to something on the other side. So you had to take 2 other parts off before you could take this stupid thing off. And remember, it's a 2-sided board. So it was always fun.
Like working on a car, you got to tear the whole top end of the motor just to change out the alternator, right?
Yeah, well, I don't. Mine's easy on the alternator, but I had a knock sensor go out, and I had to take the whole top of the motor off to get those full things.
I was just using that as an example.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So
hey, I had a friend that had a Ford. Oh, what was that thing called? I can't remember what it was, but it took us nearly 4 hours to change to take the alternator off
Yeah.
because you had to take half the car apart. It felt like.
Right.
Then we went to the store to get an alternator.
They ain't got it.
$1,200 for an
Ooh,
alternator.
gee whiz.
So he didn't have $1,200, and I couldn't afford to buy it for him. So I took it home, took it apart, and it had a diode pack in it. I said, "Well, I wonder." So I got my ohm meter. Sure enough, the diode pack had blown. So I built him a diode pack, put it back together, and it worked. Okay,
There you go.
quieten down.
Yeah.
Talking too loud.
Yeah.
But it took about 20 minutes to fix it, put it back together. But it took 4 hours to put the bloody thing back together too.
Yeah.
Ford Probe
Yeah.
when they first came out. God, that car was. Next time it broke, I helped him fix it again. I told him, "Please get rid of this darn thing."
Oh
He
yeah.
finally did.
You know,
Okay.
many years ago, my dad had like a '64 Mustang. They had the inline 6-cylinder motor in it,
Mm-hmm. 256, yeah.
and starter went out on it, right? So
Yeah.
I said, okay, I'll change it out for you. So I got underneath the car, had my tools laying on the ground, and I couldn't find the bolts to the starter. Of course, I'm used to working on V8s, big blocks, small blocks, you know. So I opened up the hood, and there's the 2 bolts. And I go,
Yeah.
no way, it can't be this simple. You know?
Oh, yeah, it is on those things. You can get in there with it and work on it.
Yeah. So I just laughed at myself when I did that. But anyway.
I tell you what, I used to work on sports cars and all kinds of cars,
Yeah.
but I can build a 426 Hemi in my sleep, but I don't want to do it anymore. Those darn heads are heavy.
Yeah.
But anyway, has anybody done any modeling? It's getting so cold here. I tried to get out and paint today, and by
Yeah.
the time I got everything done that I told my wife I would get done, it was starting to get dark. And I said, "Well, time I get it out here, it'll be cold. So I'm gonna get up and try to do it. I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow. I got something to do first thing in the morning, but I'm gonna hope I can get home by 2 or 3 o'clock and get it painted because it starts getting dark about 4:30. The light
Yeah.
starts dropping off about 4:30. So if I come in and just as soon as I park the truck, grab everything and bring it out in the driveway, I might get it shot. But I thought I had it done in one coat, and I got it out in the light and looked at it. You can see 2 or 3 light streaks in it, so I got to go back and paint again. Sparky, you're going to have to give us a painting,
Yeah.
whatever you call it, tutorial
Yeah.
On what?
on painting
Yeah, painting what?
a model airplane.
I already have several of them.
Well, I need to see it. I need to look that one up. I'll look that up as soon as I get a chance.
So was that your final coat or your base coat that
No, it's the second coat. No, before I paint anything yellow, I paint it white.
Yeah.
So I painted it white. It's all white, and I got that sanded down. It all looked real good. So I put the yellow on there.
Yeah.
But it was about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and it was getting dark, and it looked really good.
Yeah.
And I cleaned everything up and took it in the house and put it away. And I looked at it again today, and it's not so good.
Yeah. So
I've
why
had 2 or 3 days. I didn't have time to look at it. And today I got it out there and looked at it. It's got streaks all in it. So I got to go back and work on the fan spray in the paint gun because I had it adjusted for 25 or 30 pounds. I think it was 25. Now I've got it adjusted for 15, but the spray has narrowed down. I got to bring the fan back out.
So why do you when you paint it white, is that your like a primer coat?
Yeah, it's base coat.
That's a blocker.
It's
Because
a blocking coat.
yeah, you can't paint yellow on anything but white. You know,
Oh,
if
I
you tried
see.
to paint a red airplane yellow, you'd have orange when you were done.
Oh, I
yellow
see.
yellow doesn't cover it all.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah, so we put the white on there and then paint it yellow, and it turns out really, really nice. And
So
then
is
go ahead.
the yellow color, is that the only, I mean, can you use other colors with the white color or?
Well, I do white with a lot of stuff.
Okay.
If I put yellow over white, I put red over white. I
Okay.
even put light blue over white.
Okay.
And but now I don't have a real good white coat.
Yeah.
But I'm building a Gieske Nobler that is going to look like Bob Gieske's Nobler, not the bear. All my buddies thought I was going to paint it like the bear. No, I'm painting it like the Nobler. And it's all white. And then I'm going to tape out where the white's going to stay, and I'm going to spray it red. And then I pull all the tape off, and go back and tape in quarter inch tape. And I put it half on the white and half on the red, and paint dark blue around that. I'm debating on just doing it on the white itself, just on the white, so it'll be a little lighter, and use a lighter blue, which is what I'm thinking about doing now, insignia blue, and paint that around. And then when I get done with it, just everything will be covered except just that little bit of white around. So I spray that with a blue, and then let that dry, pull all the tape off, and it should be finished except for just a light sanding and put my letters and numbers on it, which I'm doing very small like Bob did, instead of having it all across the middle of the wing like I've always done it. I'm just going to put little 1-inch letters down in the corner right at the flap line like Bob did, and then USA on the other tip, and that's it. If somebody looks at the Gieske Nobler and don't know it's a Gieske Nobler, they ain't been flying long.
What do you get when you paint yellow over silver? What color?
Don't know. I've never been crazy enough to try that.
Green.
I was going to say green. That's what it sounds like. It would be a green. Yeah.
And it's a funky green too.
Oh, I
You
don't
got to
doubt
put
that.
lots of yellow over silver to get it to be yellow.
Yeah, I don't like working with silver because it pulls up. So, I mean, I can work with it. I figured out how to do it. I think Bob Hunt or somebody told me how to do it. Use a hair dryer and take your tape up with a hair dryer. But I just don't like doing it. I painted a P-51 Mustang all silver, and it didn't give me a bit of trouble. Got done with the whole airplane. It says the front of it is blue, and it's got Obsession. I wrote Obsession on the front. It turned out great, but the plane turned out heavy, and I ended up selling it to the guy that I took it down to get the guy that owns the real Obsession to sign it for me, autograph it for me, and get a picture of the model sitting in front of the real plane. We got the pictures, and then he wanted to buy that plane.
Sold.
Well, he did. He did. I sold it. He's got it. He offered me too much money. These guys are used to spending $1,500–$1,600 to have somebody check out their propeller. So $1,500 is nothing to him.
Right.
And so he wanted to buy the plane and set it in his office. So he's got the plane. Now I've got to build another one. So anyway.
Well, you could probably build 2 of them with the amount of money he paid you for it, right?
No.
Well, I can.
Yeah.
I got to get in touch with a friend of mine who called me and told me, we were talking on here, and I said, I can't find any decent balsa. And he wrote me a letter and told me that he gets some that he gets, since he does kit manufacturing, he can get some. And I'm going to get in touch with him here in a week or two when I get my order together. I'm going to get in touch with him and just tell him next time he orders, I'd like about 20 sheets of 1/16 and 20 sheets of 332. That's really about all I use anymore. With electric, I don't use 1/8 sides. I use 332 or 1/16.
Well, these are 332. That's all I've ever used.
Ah,
I use 1/8 balsa doubler, but
yeah. Yeah, I'll double the front end with a balsa doubler. I used to use plywood, but
yeah, me
everybody
too.
else was using 1/8 plywood, and I was using 16th light ply. Mine seemed to hold up as good as theirs did, so. I ain't worried about it. But I'm gonna tell you what, that Mustang, Sparky, you might should have kept that Mustang. That thing builds so easy and turns out so pretty.
Well, I did it because he really wanted it.
Oh, I understand that. Bart's a great guy. He is a really great guy. I think the world of him. I'm glad you let him have yours, because I was thinking about letting him have mine. And I wanted to build that thing just because I wanted to build it. And I finally did. And it was a fun build. I really enjoyed building that one. Everybody keeps asking, what are you building? P-51. And they never ask any more about it. Of course, I've been 2 years working on this P-51 profile, and I got it just about built and then didn't like it and started sanding the thing down. We'll sand it all the way down and just don't forget the other stuff. Aren't you gonna put the Oh, I know what he's doing. Never mind. I know what he's doing now. Anyway, they never asked about it. Well, it wasn't the profile I was talking about.
Yeah, it meant more to Bart than it did to me.
Yeah. I wish somebody would start making those, cutting those again, because I would really like to have a Sea Fury. I don't want the race model. I'm not interested in the race model. I want the Sea Fury. I had a chance to get the race model one, but that's not the one I want.
You see,
I
for
will never
me,
forget. I'll never forget going to my first nationals and seeing him fly that big pickle barrel. 6-inch round nose on that thing with a Tiger 60 in it. And I'm sitting there, my God, a Tiger 60. And that thing just, I mean, it just roared. And when that thing would go into a wing over or something, that motor would come on into a 2-cycle. The fuselage sounded like it was a pickle barrel. It sounded like you put a Tiger 60, unmuffled Tiger 60 in a pickle barrel. Just
Oh,
wah,
wow.
wah, wah, wah over the top. It was just amazing. But Al Raby in those days could fly. He won the Nats that year, and he could fly. But
for
I'll
me,
tell you,
if I want one, I'll just build one from scratch. You know, I don't need a kit.
yeah, yeah. If you wanted to have a lot of fun at the Nats, you needed to go in the days when there was Al Raby, Keith Trossel, Les McDonald, Bill Werwich, Bobby Hunt, and Bob Gieske. When those guys were all there, I mean, it was fun in those days. Those guys were just fun to watch, and they just, I mean, you don't talk to them once the contest started because they sit there whatever on kill, and it was just neat to watch them. Those guys were just amazing. But Keith Trossel is as quiet and unassuming as he is. When he in his heyday, when he was at a contest and he was really concentrating, oh boy, I don't get that serious. He was for real, buddy. He's still a lot of fun. He's a great guy. But I mean, he got serious. He used to get really serious. And something would happen that was just terrible. And I'd been, and he was, well, that was unfortunate. I thought, how can you be so calm? He was a mess. Sounds like the tow trucks behind me are coming home. I hear all these backup beepers. They're not tow trucks, they're dump trucks. Good evening, Ed. How are you, sir?
It is surviving.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah. Yes. Still going through physical therapy.
Oh Lord, I remember those days.
Yeah.
I
But
don't
it's
envy you, brother.
getting better.
I don't want to do it again. Oh, I want to tell you the plane that I have been looking for 5 years at least, the plans to it. I didn't think they existed. And I went up to see a friend, went up and flew with a friend in Reedsville a few weeks ago, Tom and Buddy, and I went up there and flew with him. And
Yeah.
anyway, he had one. And I said, Dadgummit, I've been looking for plans to that forever. And he said, oh, RCM. So I got home, tried to call RCM and couldn't get the plans from RCM. So I went back up there the other night to take a look at one of his other airplanes because I want to build a Moidle, but I can't figure out, my plans have been messed up. Read mouse. And I don't mean this thing. and couldn't see exactly how you put the top wing on. Well, the trailing edge is 1/8 of an inch over the fuselage. That's all I needed to know because everything else is 0, 0. So got that all fixed and came home and got it all figured out and jigged up. And I hadn't glued it in yet, but that's all right. I'll get it later on. But I was getting ready to leave, and he said, "Oh, by the way, didn't you want these?" He gave me a set of plans to a belfry bound. I said, "Son of a gun." I finally got a set of those things. Now I'm going to have to sit down and build it, but that's okay. That's kind of cool. I like that.
You
Tommy
you
and I,
did
but I
you
did
did get the
some-
ones I sent you.
Yeah, the Sterling
Seafire.
Spitfire.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that. I want to build that too, and he has one. That was the thing. Brian had one built, and it's beautiful. He builds a little heavy, but dang, he builds beautiful. He builds some beautiful airplanes. He's got a Bearcat. He's got a Tony. He's got the Spitfire, and he's got a Corsair, and they're all gorgeous. He's an amazing builder. But I tell you what, we've got some people in this hobby that can really do some pretty work. So what are you building?
Me?
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
half A.
Well, I'm getting ready to build 3 of those. I found I waited till after the election, and then I went to some of the local churches and places that had 500 signs out front. And I wish I was kidding, but I'm not. And I loaded up the back of my pickup truck with that whatever you call that stuff. Looks like corrugation, but it's plastic.
Yeah.
I'm
Core
Coroplast.
Coroplast. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to build a couple airplanes out of that, little trainers. And I got the motor and the radio controller over here. Everything. I've got everything but the battery and charger to build one. And I'm going to get that and get this thing built. And next time somebody comes to the field and said, "I'd like to try that," I'm going to buy George has something. We can take them out and let them try it.
Carl, if you're gonna scratch, mute yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I thought that was me for a second.
No, I just had an itch on my arm. Sorry about that, guys.
I thought Gary Sinclair's mic was sensitive, but Carl's is worse.
Okay.
Uh,
Can you stand all that? How can you paint and epoxy and all that in the house? I
There's
can't
no
do
smell
it.
to this.
Do what?
There's no smell to this.
Oh man. Well, it may not, you may be used to it or can stand it, but I think my wife can smell everything I do down there.
When I paint,
She's
I just open the window and turn the fan on and blow it outside.
She's got an amazing smeller on her, and every time I open, there's an oil I use when I'm grinding and making parts on the little lathe.
That's
And every
kerosene.
time I open that stuff, I can't smell it all, so it doesn't bother me. It's just air to me. But I don't get 2 minutes grinding done, and she's flashing the lights for me to shut the thing off and listen to it. So what in the world are you using down there? And it's the same stuff as always. It's that keep it cool lube. And
Kerosene?
she thinks it stinks something terrible. I don't know. I can't smell it, and I've taken it to other people, and I say, "Well, it's got a smell, but it's not that bad." But boy, it gets beside her.
And if you-
What gets me is go into a nail polish place.
yeah.
Oh, I can't do that. I
They
can't
don't
do it.
complain
When
about
I-
that.
No, same
When
shit.
I was a kid, my mother was a beautician. And when I would go in there and get on her nerves, she would open a bottle of formaldehyde. And I had to leave. I couldn't stand that stuff. Good gracious. That'd run me out right quick. Now, the bad thing about this, she had a TV in there that I had to go in there and work on about every other Saturday. But as soon as I was done, she'd take that little jar about that tall that had combs and brushes in it. Well, combs. It just had combs in it.
Hey.
And she'd just take the top and pick it up and lay it over to one side. One of those things where you had a chrome top and a post that went down to a piece at the bottom. And when you lifted the top up,
Right.
the bottom came too, and you get a comb and pull it out and bang it off on the towel and use it. Well, she just take the top, lay it over to one side, wouldn't say a thing, just take it, lay it over once. Oh God, Mama, I gotta go. Woo-hoo. So, but I'm gonna tell you what, if you think men tell rotten jokes, we can't hold a candle to these women. Golly. Little old church women in my neighborhood that I thought were the salt of the earth. Lord have mercy. You talk about some rotten jokes. I'd be behind the TV working on TV and they'd start telling jokes. Oh my goodness. These women could make a sailor blush. Mm.
That's funny.
Yeah, I've had a good time with a lot of that stuff. Oh me.
Here's a tech tip for you guys. I use Z-epoxy to glue these doublers together
Yeah.
because when you sand through to the next layer, it's sandable, it's hard, and it doesn't show that big rubber line that regular epoxy shows.
Yeah.
Does it hold? I don't know. I've never had one come apart. So
How did you just pop the two pieces apart and then put the veil down on it and then epoxy over that and the veil's not coming apart?
no.
Wow. And then put that back down on it. That's pretty slick. I figured the veil would come apart on you, but
Well,
lightweight as that stuff is.
yeah, this is the fine stuff. This ain't the half ounce. This is the 2/10.
Oh, okay.
And I don't really believe I got fiberglass in that airplane, half-ounce fiberglass cloth. I don't really believe this stuff really does anything except hold glue. But we got it, so put it on.
Well, it's good on the. I've used it a lot on the nose to keep fingernails when people grab it from.
This is on the inside, between two
I
pieces.
know. I use it on the outside.
Yeah,
I use matte where you're doing that, but then I put balsa wood where it looks like well, that is balsa you're putting on there, isn't it?
I use fiberglass on the outside. Well, you're a big computer guy. What are these?
What are they?
They're out of a computer.
One of those tower, for a tower?
Exactly. It's a server weight.
Yeah, server weight.
I was gonna say it's just a weight. I mean,
So don't tip over, I guess, so easy.
yeah, that's it. That's exactly it. Because they don't take the thump from falling over very well.
Let's see how much they weigh. Probably about a couple pounds.
About 4, I think.
Man, as much stuff as my partner goes through upstairs, I'm gonna have to start looking out for that. I could use a couple of those.
I'll tell you what.
Yeah, they're a whole lot heavier than you think.
I would bet about 6 to 8 pounds a piece.
Almost 8.
Yeah, because when you take one of those out, the tower becomes real light and easy to manage. Motherboard don't weigh much.
No.
The heaviest thing in the computer, other than that weight, is usually the power supply.
I got 6 of them. I should have got them all when I had a chance. But I said, I don't want that shit.
Yeah.
What a mistake.
Yeah, well, we've all done it. I could have kept a lot of that kind of stuff too, and instead I threw it in the darn dumpster. Dumb. Anyway.
It's gonna get cold, and I got the heater running up here. It's too hot.
It's cold here. The other night it was 36 degrees, and it got down to 32. I just took my dog out early because I didn't want to have to go out in 32. Ooh.
I think the season's over.
Yeah. We had a nice long Indian summer, but I'm afraid winter has arrived.
So I'm going to be hibernating finishing out this next airplane. It should be spectacular. Because I don't want to get this one done and start another one before the Nats. So I'm going to work on this one to get it perfect. And I was considering using silver, but I'm going to use polar gray instead.
Yeah, it works. It works a lot better.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about it. Polar gray is a lot easier.
Well, been watching these windy tapes and getting excited. You know, he's a hell of a finisher. Getting excited about doing a finish like his. I'll get some silver. Then I got to thinking, no, every time I use that shit, the paint pulls up.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about silver that the paint lifts so easy, but
It's real aluminum.
yeah, it's got real aluminum in it. That's why it's so darn heavy. But you want to see something heavy, get some Brodak white primer. Now that crap must have lead particles in it. I don't know what it is, but that stuff it weighs 2.5 times what the same size can of regular, just pure white weighs. 2.5 times.
Well, here's a can of primer.
Gracious.
I'm not
No,
gonna
it got to be white primer now. The regular primer's not that bad, but the white primer is intense.
This is a can of primer. It's 3/4 of a can, so it's right to there. And it weighs this lacquer primer.
Oh, yeah. Can you still buy that stuff?
Yeah, it's made right here in St. Louis. The company is TCI Products, East DeSoto Avenue, St. Louis, Missouri. I'll give you the phone number if you want.
Not tonight. I don't have anything here to write it on, but yeah, I might do that because I'm
That's
gonna.
10 pounds right there. It was 14.
Yeah, but it comes out of there and you spray that out and it goes a long way.
Comes out of there
4
and you
ounces.
500%. Comes out like peanut butter.
Yeah. Yeah. 4 ounces goes a long, long way, and that's with that stuff.
We're gonna have an exotherm here on the bench.
Seven, eight. You didn't use much.
No. That whole thing weighed 1.5 ounces for all that stuff I put in there, so I probably used 1/4 ounce of epoxy.
Yeah.
And I mixed it a little on the hot side. Woo-wee! Should start smoking any minute.
Should already be smoking as hard as it is.
I didn't think I mixed it that hot, but I guess I did.
Lucky you got it on there and
Oh,
covered up.
yeah, no problem. It's hot. I got a funny story about mixing epoxy when I was a kid. We lived in Los Angeles at the time. We were building model airplanes. We had a 2-car garage, and the whole garage was a shop. And the guys down the street had an M80 press, and we're pressing M80s, and Ricky blew the manhole cover off. He poured gasoline down the manhole and took some of the fuse, and boom, blew the manhole off. And the police came. And when we saw the cops come, I took that press and threw it in the back of the garage behind a bunch of papers my dad was saving. He was, recycling newspapers. I threw it back there, and I was mixing epoxy, and wow, I got to take that outside, and it was smoldering in the trash can when the cops came. And I said, hey, you can look. And they said, where's the M80 press? I said, we don't have one. I said, you can look for it yourself. He said, you couldn't begin to scratch the service of this place in a month. And and it was just smoldering, and my brother's little model car was burning out in the front yard. Oh man, we were hell when we were kids. When I was a kid, I got to take that downstairs. I got a feeling it's going to catch fire. Put it out in the street.
Must have really makes it hot.
I'll be back
Ed,
in
you
a
been
second.
doing any flying? Yep. Ed, you been doing any flying?
No, can't. I do want to say, I forgot. I was trying to figure out what to talk to you guys. um, Even after my knee replacement and losing core body strength, I had a hard time flying RC and looking up. And I finally got so with it. Flying control line, I was having a little bit of trouble once I got above 60 degrees. Yeah. And so after this knee so I got both knees replaced. After this ankle replacement, I was standing in the hangar the other day looking straight up at the lights and stuff without holding anything. And I haven't been able to do that in years. And so I'm probably not capable of trying to fly until March, which is okay. He said in 6 months I should be feeling pretty good and okay. So it's only 3 months now since surgery. And that, but yeah, surprising.
Get ready.
Yeah, it's surprising what a difference it makes. But I got all kinds of airplanes to fly. I just got to get out there and do it. And and August 8th and 9th, of course, is the expo. I put in the letter there next year. And yeah. In fact, it's which is really nice is one of the generous donators already sent me paperwork saying, hey, remember, you need to have this in before February. I says, you'll have it.
That's pretty neat.
So,
well, we'll be there. I'm planning to bring the biplane next year along with a new stunner.
so you got an SC5?
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, let me get what I'll have to fly against you.
Oh, cool. He's probably got an albatross.
Yeah.
The Fokker. Yeah. I have one of those hanging downstairs, but mine's not electric. But
I converted
cool.
it.
That's
I converted it. I got it ready. Haven't test flown it yet, but it's ready to go. And
have some fun with that. What I thought I'd get out there with those scale guys, and when they go chasing around with a B-17 and the Tiger Cat, I chase them with an SE5.
Yeah. So, been doing building, but not much flying. So, and straightening up the shop again.
Yeah. I haven't been doing near enough of anything except getting in Vicky's way. She's she's about to get the best of me here lately. We got to get this cleaned up. Yeah, I agree. And we get started doing it, and she wants to go one way with it, and I want to go the other way with it. One of these days I'm going to learn I'd be better off I just shut up and say, what do you want me to do next? Because her way works. My way generally ends up being more work than it needs to be. So
yeah,
I need to just do it her way. But
sister-in-law Chris that helps me with the expo is helping me and stuff. Yeah,
she's a sweetheart. That's going to be a lot of fun. August the 8th and 9th. I got to remember that. Oh, I got to find something to write it on because I won't remember.
Did you look at the YouTube thing for the expo?
I did. It looked neat.
Yeah. I'm going to have Gary's coming back next year. And I told Mark Weiss I want to have him do kind of like something special for Pampa somehow. Do something for like a advertisement thing. I'm using that for, promotion and for fundraising. So I started off at the last airport authority meeting showing them that video and they were amazed by it. So I think it'll help out showing other people, here's what you're missing if you're not donating and coming.
I'm gonna wear my Pampa hat next year, so I found my old Pampa hat, my old black Pampa hat with a great big Pampa emblem on it. So I'm gonna wear that next year. I plan to, and then
Yeah.
see if we can't help advertise Pampa a little bit.
Yeah.
I still got to get in touch with him and tell him I really need you to get through to somebody to give them my address, because I have as yet not received anything from them. But anyway, we'll see what happens. Don't know.
Yep.
But anyhow, it's one of those things. I believe in them, even if they don't believe in me. But that's okay. Let's see. Tom. Daggum, I can't believe it's already so late in the year.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah, ain't that something?
And West Virginia, it's hunting week, not Thanksgiving week.
Oh yeah.
Nobody goes to school. Basically everybody takes off.
Oh my word.
Yep. My guys are, we had enough work and stuff, and our customer told us that they were going to not send us anything this week. And we said, that's great. So we worked all the extra hours for the last 2 weeks, got stuff out for them, so they have the airplanes for the holiday, and so it's really nice. They've got all week to hunt.
That's neat.
Yeah, I had to turn
I
down a trip.
started.
Had to turn down a trip out to California and one down to South Carolina, I think already.
Wow. Well, I started learning to trout fish. And I'm gonna tell you what, when you get into it, you're better off if you don't have somebody like I've got that's trying to teach me all about this stuff. Because these cane poles, they're not only not real easy to build, but they can be expensive.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of fun. I'm trying to learn to trout fish, and I mean trying to learn, because I'm an old bass fisherman, and this trout stuff is totally new world to me. But I want to
got a
get up there.
question.
Your part of the country's got some really good trout fishing.
Yeah, Sparky, you said the question?
Yeah, question for you. If I go out to the airport, we got an airport here, and I see if I can work on these Fokers and Spads and Jennies and crap like that. Do I need to be an A&P to do that?
Well, is it registered experimental or not?
I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna go out to the airport and see if somebody will hire me out there, because it's the same thing as building a model airplane.
Right. Actually, I was talking to a guy that also rebuilds airplanes, and he said that some of his best workers are guys that can build wooden stuff, and they have the patience and stuff. But it's twofold. If it's like a personal owned airplane, um, there's certain things that an owner can do, and there are other certain things that you would have to work with somebody to sign it off. If it's experimental, that's a different story. The owner of the aircraft could work with you.
So if I built the structure, say out of spruce, the ribs and the wings and the fuselage and all that shit, then had an A&P come over, sign it off, and then I covered it, and then he came over and signed it off, it'd be good, right?
Not sure. That's experimental, and I'm not sure the rules nowadays, because it had changed, and I haven't done much with experimental and that, other than aluminum ones. But
You don't have to be an A&P to paint them, do you?
no.
There you go. I
But
get the
but
job.
but you better know about well, somebody will, because you have to do a weight and balance, and you have to balance the flight controls,
Yeah,
and that would have to take an AMP, airframe and power plant license.
right. I should have got my damn A&P when I got out of the Navy.
Yeah, because depending on which your job code was,
AMS, Aviation Structural Mechanic.
okay, that would have qualified you for X amount of the requirements. And some would say, let me know what all you did, and you would meet the other ones, or you would have to just get some limited training on the areas. What they do is nowadays they have it like broken down into chapters, and
Yeah.
say like there's 80 chapters of aircraft maintenance. You know, one chapter is oil, one's propeller. You have to have experience at least 50% of those, showing documented experience and that. So your code in the military would check X amount of boxes and stuff.
Yeah. I did.
Uh,
AMS was also AMH, which was hydraulics,
yeah, see,
sheet
yeah,
metal. I ran the corrosion control crew, so I was a painter. You
yep,
know,
yep. You would have gotten awful close to it. What I did was while I was in the Air Force, I went to AMP school, accelerated course because we were in the military. So I only had to do 6 months airframe and 6 months power plant part time in the evenings. And that way, if I didn't have enough on hands experience, I had it through the Northrop Institute of Aeronautics course that I did, and that.
it would probably surprise the guy who's testing me of how much I really still remember 50 years later, because all that shit's been beat into my head.
Yeah.
You know, bend allowance and bucking rivets and all that.
Yep.
I remember all that shit.
Yep. And you might find now you might want to go to the airport. Is there an EAA chapter, Experimental Aircraft Association chapter?
I'm sure there is. We got
Um,
several smaller airports around here. We have the St. Louis, you know, the international hub up there, but that's not
yeah,
where I'm going to go. I'm going to go to the Creve
right.
Coeur Airport or yeah, Spirit of St.
Well,
Louis, the other side.
you might find somebody that is building their own aircraft, and he would hire you. Some guys actually pay somebody to build an experimental aircraft like that. And if you're the builder of the aircraft, you can inspect it.
Uh-huh.
And so what you're talking about as far as assembling the frame and covering with cloth and all that, that's experimental because there's no production aircraft out there like that.
How about a
So
Piper?
like for
How about a Cub? They're cloth.
yeah, yeah. Well, they have different ones that are, I believe, that are experimental now, but don't quote me on that. But a regular Cub is a production one, so that would take a license.
Yeah, I wish I lived around Mike Patey because you know he's doing all that carbon shit with the Draco and his
Yeah.
carbon Cub and all that.
So, and if you're World War One, you got the guy out there in Missouri that made all the airplanes for the movie. What was that World War One movie?
I don't know.
Flyboys.
Flyboys, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and those are aluminum tubing and stuff, pop riveted together and covered with fabric. Rotax engine. Those are experimental.
Well, they would, yeah. Rotex engine's a whole lot better than what they had in them during World War One.
Oh Lord, yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't even have a throttle. They just cranked the thing up and it ran. You wanted a
Yeah.
taxi, you sit
Cut the
turn it
mags
off and
off and
on,
on.
off and on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Golly
And
moly.
that's so, but yeah, I mean, a lot of times you can find somebody that might say, "Hey, listen, I need some help," and I have no idea what they would try to pay you. Some
Well,
guys are pretty good about it. Some guys are, trying to get by.
for me to go into it as a career now, after being a Harley mechanic for 30, almost 40 years, and you know, 50 years ago, I did airplanes, but I've always built models. It would be kind of hard, you know, a guy in his 70 years old to say, hey, I'm going to start for you, you know.
Yeah. Yep. And
Yeah, the
that,
70s, the new 50s.
well, what really hurts here is when the oil and gas thing was trying to hire everybody away. I had military guys go to the, they had all this experience from the military in aircraft or helicopters. They went to the oil field for, I think, $1 or $2 more an hour. And so then they got married, then they have kids. And so when they first got out, they had the opportunity to make a little bit less money and get licensed up. Now they're coming to me at age 27 and 28 wanting to switch again because they got laid off. But how can I pay you what you expect to make with kids and a wife versus when you're just out of school? Just keep in mind that changing a tire, if you're just out of school with us, you don't change it by yourself. You change it with somebody that knows how to do it and make sure that it's done right. And that, we do buyback on everything. So normally it's a minimum of 2 guys. Like you and I would be working, changing a fuel control. Before I covered anything up, you would inspect what I did. Anything that you did, I would inspect before we cover it up.
And the
And
tools
so,
better be back in the box.
what's that?
And the tools better be back in the box. They're all
All of our stuff
shadowed.
is all of our stuff is shadowed
Yeah,
and that. In fact, I had that my last years of the military. Was
right.
my toolbox was shadowed, and we started that the very well 2006. I started the company, and the guys were doing it then, and everybody couldn't believe what when we came on site where they saw we had all the documentation and all the shadowed tools and everything. So
Right, because if
What
the
does that
tool,
mean,
if the
shadowed
tool, the
tools?
box isn't full when it comes back to the crib, that airplane don't fly.
yep,
Yeah, they got to go find the tools. Yeah, it makes sense.
I had an F4 that a guy dropped the bolt, and they went and had to put it through X-ray before they released it to find it.
Did they find it?
Yeah, they use an X-ray.
It didn't end up as FOD.
They don't like FOD.
No,
What's fog? What does that mean?
Foreign object damage.
yeah,
Oh,
So, but it's not unheard of sticking in flight control system and jamming flight controls.
right.
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The most dangerous thing on the airplane, or the most dangerous time on an airplane on the ramp, is when it's off and it's sitting still. You know why, Phil?
When it's off?
Yeah, no,
No,
that's not powered up.
no, why?
Because hydraulic pressure can move that flap at any time, so never put your hand in the red.
Oh, that's why they always said lock them. Okay.
Yeah, we had actuator red safety clamps that went over the actuator areas, so
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
couldn't. And
Yeah, I've never worked on anything that had all that much hydraulics. I've helped build a BD5 and a RV4, but
Yeah.
I've never worked on anything with a bunch of hydraulics.
Now, he
My
just was
first
talking
airplane-
about changing the tire. That thing better be in the cage before you start putting the air to
well,
it.
you
Oh,
heard
that's
about
just
that
like
guy
a-
that was killed in Atlanta, right?
Uh-uh.
Two guys changing a tire did it wrong. It blew apart and killed him.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
It wasn't in a cage, and they didn't let the pressure out. They just started taking the bolts apart.
I
Oh,
seen
Lord.
I seen the
had- I
tire
know better than
explode
that.
in the cage, and the cage jumped off the ground.
I
Well,
had
I've seen
a guy helping me many years ago on a Cessna 150, and he started taking the 3 bolts apart instead of letting the air out of the inner tube. So,
What's the pressure on a Cessna?
oh, it's only
28
30 psi.
Yeah.
You know,
Nothing.
it's not much.
On an
Nothing.
F-14, it's like 250 pounds or 300 pounds.
Yeah.
That's serious. Nitrogen, probably.
Yep.
Wheels are magnesium. The tires are 30 ply. I mean, that things are ridiculous. Big
Yeah.
old thick.
Well, I don't know that I can't even imagine that much pressure, but I've seen the 3-piece wheels that go on a Mack truck or a dump truck or city truck. I've seen one of them come apart in the cage. I don't ever want to see one that's got the kind of pressure you're talking about.
No.
Man, that thing sounded like the whole room was coming apart.
That's just like we had a jet come in with hot brakes. And the only thing you do is if you have to approach it, you approach it from the front or the back and basically get out of the way and get the fire department out there.
PKP. You guys use that PKP stuff? Purple foam?
That's probably after my time. And that, I
After.
mean, I did crash recovery
Breaks me.
in the Air Force, but
That's
we
that
never
purple
used that.
foam. That's that purple foam that they laid down aboard aircraft carrier to kill magnesium fires, because you can't put a magnesium
Oh,
fire out.
yeah.
That'd burn a hole in the deck.
Yep. I didn't know that would was possible to put one out with
Yeah.
that stuff.
PKP.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I worked in a machine shop where we cut parts out of magnesium, and they had that stuff in there. But if they had to use that, you had these big cords all through the room, and you grab that cord and pull down on it, and everybody scrambled. Everybody got out of the room before they popped that stuff.
Yeah, I had a guy on several of the Pratt engines on the bleed valve area. That housing where the bleed valves sit is magnesium. And so to fix corrosion, you go in there and you have to sand out. I had guys in there with power grinders at other places. And it's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. Buddy, do you have any idea what you might be causing here?
Yeah, just the sparks that thing would send off grinding it. Ooh.
Yep.
Ooh.
There's got to be rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just like with my guys. You have to go by the book. Even if the book is wrong, it saves you and it saves myself and
Yeah.
that. But if I train you right and you don't follow the book, you're in trouble. If I don't train you and you have a problem, I'm in trouble and stuff. So it's good out there, and the way they have it set up, but they're trying it the best that they can to make it safe.
Yeah.
Well, I got my carbon veil from Frank Waves today, Sparky. It's good stuff.
I know. I just used it tonight.
It's awesome.
Oh yeah, I got mine too.
Good stuff.
Right here. Yeah.
I even sent them an extra $10 for a beer. I said, here,
Brett
here's
Buck was
$10.
saying,
Have a beer on me.
Brett Buck was saying the only good stuff I found is from that place, Aerospace Composites. I said, Brett, it's the same shit as theirs.
It's plenty good. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Can you iron it first to take wrinkles out, Sparky? Have you ever tried that?
I've
Or
never
do you
tried
need
it,
to?
but I don't see why you couldn't.
Do you need to?
No, I don't.
You don't? Okay. Those wrinkles will brush out nice.
Well, depends on what you're doing. Whether you're going to put it on the outside of the airplane, dope it on.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely don't worry about it. Just dope it down. If it wrinkles up, sand the wrinkle off, put another piece over the top of that.
Over done.
Yeah, you're done.
Good check. What do you got there in front of you?
This is the fuselage to my next airplane, the jet.
Oh, that's iron. That's iron weight.
That's gonna be a heavy fuselage.
Yeah. Here's the motor crutch.
You don't want to have to use any nose weight.
Yeah, should be all right on the nose weight.
Yeah.
Yeah, 10 pounds each.
Put a Rojet 90 in it.
I had to take the cup out on the front porch, out on the front walk, because it just about caught fire. Exothermed.
He might got a little carried away on the hot stuff.
Activator.
Yeah.
Activator, yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what it is I mixed it in one of these cups, and I poured it to there, and I just decided, well, I'll double it, but the cup is tapered. So
Yeah.
I just take that into account. So it's pretty
Next time, put your hot stuff in first.
Yeah. Next time I'll put the hardener in first. and then add the stuff on the outside, because with a little more of that, it don't really matter. It just takes longer to dry, to cure. I could have used this HDR 250 or that 862 EPON, but I'm real familiar with Z-epoxy and how it sands, so that's why I did that.
So what engine's going in that airplane?
Tiger 60.
That's right. This
Tiger
engine,
60. I thought you were going to do a rear exhaust something.
I got one, the Aegis, and I got two motors, and I got my Supermarine that I'm going to put one of them back in. So, it's real hard for me after flying airplanes without the pipe. That's 3 ounces extra right off the bat.
I think that's minimum.
Right, minimum. And it's hanging underneath the center line of the airplane. So it does some weird shit. You got to design it out. So I have a real hard time saying, well, my Super Tiger 60 puts out plenty of power. Do I really need that 3 extra ounces? I don't think so.
Todd Lee don't need it.
No.
All
How
good.
about he had a 67?
No.
He does.
Okay.
I just
Throw a
finished up
muffler, though.
ARF. I built the ARF Nobra thingy that I won 3 weeks ago. Ready to fly, 39 ounces, Sparky.
Yep. It's a
What
good
motor?
Brodak 40.
That'd be a good one.
Those suckers build up pretty light.
The Knobbler.
Knobbler.
Yeah.
And I got way more. Let's just say I got 23 degrees flap, 28 degrees elevator. Both ways. I got more elevator than flap.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll work great.
I think it'll be okay. Well, that's a big elevator. I like that.
Yeah. Nice big stab.
That's a good thing. Is that 3.5 ounces sitting right there?
Nope. 3.
3. That's pretty good. That's pretty darn good.
And it's finished. This has got the dope on it and the tissue.
Good.
So
Building an airplane's not a big job, Robert. It's 4,027 little ones.
that's right. I figure it's 4 jobs. You got to build a rudder, an elevator, stabilizer, a fuselage, and a wing. How hard can that be? And then at the end, you put them all together and you got an airplane.
Now, the individual pieces is put it together square is a big deal. There's some complications there.
Yeah, square is
Everything's
important.
straight.
And
Put it
I
together
made
square.
sure I made sure everything so far on this thing is 100% square. I don't want any mistakes,
That's a good thing.
because I'm going to try to do this like a Novi, or it's going to be a jet looking airplane because of the slant back wing tips. Might as well take advantage of them.
You put a tricycle gear on it?
No.
No.
USA 1 didn't have trike gear. The Novi
I know.
didn't have trike gear. I mean, but you don't see any real jets without trike gear. There's one.
Only one. Only
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
262, first version.
Yep. ME 262.
There was another one too. There was another
Yeah.
German had a
Yep.
163 on the top. What was that one? Had a jet on the top of the wing. It was a tail dragger also at first.
I think it's 163, like you said.
I think so. But they weren't. They were early on. They went to nose wheels later on both of them, I think.
Probably pushed them, as you're pushing it, probably push your nose
They,
right.
they claimed on the 262, it didn't have enough to get the tail to come up with the thrust down low like that. So they had to hit the brakes to get it up level to get it to gain speed. They'd get it going and whack the brakes and raise the tail, and then it accelerate on out. It didn't have enough thrust, and the thrust was low where it wasn't helping it get up on the mains. The swallow.
I was looking through my stunt history book to make sure that I wasn't going to be too far out on, it's just a fantasy model, but I noted a whole lot of models back in the 70s and 80s that were, you know, jet style with wing mounted gear.
There are lots of.
Yeah, stiletto. Genesis.
Doing okay.
Well, hello, darling.
Hi, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
To you
Happy
also.
Thanksgiving.
Thank
Eat
you.
some pumpkin pie.
Yeah, I'll bake those on Wednesday.
That's good.
Yeah. So we do traditional. How's everybody
That's good.
doing?
We're doing fine.
Doing well. Doing
That's
Our
well.
turkey's out at the hangar being thawed in the icebox. I'll bring it home tomorrow.
I took mine out of the freezer on Saturday, so it's in the fridge.
Yeah,
In the
that's
front
where
garage. It used
Yep.
to be in the man cave here, but I had to give up that space because my husband needed more room.
bless you, my child. Bless you.
Well, you know, what can I
That's
say?
a good. That's a good lady, Ed. You ought to hang on to her.
Oh, yeah.
Don't mess this up.
Not a chance. I just came to say good evening. It's
Good evening.
pouring
Good to see you.
outside.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's coming down in buckets. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving.
See you later.
Good to see you. Yeah, that's probably headed our way. That's it.
Mark Gerber, what do you got going?
You want to see some Bearcat
Yeah, let's see
instruction?
some
Yeah, man.
Bearcat.
Been working away here.
A mold.
So last week, I think I had showed that I got the top mold, the shell all molded, and spliced it together because it had a lot of curvature in the middle. And then I put that on and got the top all set up, smoothed out.
Wow.
So now I'm working on the bottom. This is the shell I molded. And then I glued it on yesterday. Plenty of tape. You can't really put tape up here, so I used weights to
Yeah.
hold it down up there. So here's what I got. It came out pretty good. I sanded it in the edges and cleaned up. This is the air vent exhaust from the engine compartment.
Man, you're something.
And here's the rear view. I put the block in here and I shaped that up this afternoon. So I got to take that back out and then hollow it. And then I'll be ready to move on to I'm still got to finish up here by the rudder. I got to fill in the piece in here that goes there, and then the fin that goes up to the vertical stabilizer. Then I think I'll be ready to do the cowling and do some other cleanup, cut out the engine compartment.
You got one of these, Mark?
No, I don't.
You need to make yourself one for hollowing.
I didn't hollow anything here. Well, I will that.
But you're
I will
good.
that little piece on the back. Yeah.
Right, you need one of these for hollowing. That way you can tell, you know, they touch each other on the top and the bottom. Here, let me show you.
Make it big. We don't see it.
Yeah, I got to do this. Hold on.
Let me stop sharing. You can. There you go.
Okay, and I want to, let's see. What the hell, spotlight? Oh, no. Crap. Cancel. Replace spotlight. There we go. Okay.
Oh.
So you reach inside your cowl or whatever, and you say, well, it's, you know, you touch it to that and you look on this end,
Now you can see how much you got.
I'll be darned.
how much you
Brilliant.
got.
A good idea,
Brilliant.
Sparky.
And all it is two pieces of plywood cut in a, you know, an S shape,
Bolted together.
bolted together, figure eight. And that way you can see how much wood is left inside.
Well done. Mark, you're making good progress, looks like to me.
Be ready to fly Saturday.
Some
Here's my-
Saturday.
Here's my other project that I'm about to embark on, which is to get some lighting in the basement. I've been struggling away with for years with this basement that has 6 of these bulb lights in it, and I replaced them with the curlicue fluorescents, but they get dimmer as time goes on. So I had an
Get
electrician come in last week and give me a quote to put in all kinds of lights here. So
get those LED ones.
that's
that
what I'm
they,
getting. And I hopefully in another week or two, I'll be able to show you a picture like this with plenty of light. So Keith Russell says you can't have too much light in your workshop.
That's right.
He's right.
I got 3 in the other room, and I got 2 in this room like that. I got 3 in the other room. They're 4 bulbs apiece. They put out quite a bit of light.
I went and replaced 2 of the ones we have them in the kitchen even. And I went and replaced 2 of them, 2 of the bulbs. It's a 4 bulb set, but in each fixture, but I got went and replaced 2 of the bulbs and picked up the wrong bulbs. I don't know how, but I picked up the wrong bulbs. I think somebody had put the wrong bulbs in the box because I read the box and it said it was the right thing. And I pulled them out, didn't pay attention. Went Lowe's and paid for them and brought them home, put them in. Vicky now calls that the aircraft landing lights.
They're daylight.
One side of the room is really bright.
You notice Joe's camera's following the ceiling there? Not moving now, but
Well, Joe's got a talented camera there. He
Caffeine, what do you got going off in Timbuktu?
It's Indonesia.
Whatever.
No, well, I haven't done much for the last couple of weeks, so yeah. The last time I flew, it was I guess um I guess it was 2 weeks ago. I still had some minor airplane trim problem. So yeah, I hate it when I have to end my flight session with some airplane trimming problem that you have to pending solving it until the next flight session. It sucks.
Well, I got
you
to tell
know
you, hey, hold on. I got to tell you, even if you don't have a problem, and if you set
Mhm.
the airplane in your garage or whatever, and the weather changes, next season it
Uh-huh.
could be different.
Yeah.
So you just start out figuring you're going to have to trim it.
Uh-huh. I mean, if the plane is good, and then you have like, yeah, you have your flying session like 3 or 4 flights, and it's all good flights. It's a good flight until the next flight session. But when you end your flight session with, I should have done this on the plane, blah blah blah, and then yeah, and then you have to wait like a week or 2 week to test it out, what you have in mind that will work on your airplane. That sucks.
I concur.
Saying that are really good flyers when they go to contests.
Mm-hmm.
Like you see Bob Hunt show up at the Nationals. You see any of those top guys show up at the Nationals. You're never through trimming. You're never through
Yeah.
trimming because you're always going to want to change something because the air is different here or the
Mm-hmm.
altitude or something. You need more
Humidity.
elevator. Yeah, need less altitude. I mean, the altitude elevator. It's always something. The humidity is different. The air's thicker or
Yeah.
denser, however you want to say it. There's always something. So just get used
Mhm.
to trimming because that's just something. If you're going to fly stunt, it's a constant. I've started
Mm-hmm.
doing it myself, changing a little bit just to see what happens, and it really works. It really works. When
Yeah.
I go to Ed's place, I put more elevator in it. He's
Mm-hmm.
up higher, and the air's a little thinner, and you need a little more elevator or a little less flap. Either way you want to look at it, but it just works. You just throw a little bit more elevator in it and it turns like it does at home. You're not trying to get it better, just trying to get it back to what you're used to.
Keep up.
Mm-hmm.
Just try to keep up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just that's just a normal thing. And I've even seen guys change the tip weight, but I have never gotten that involved in it. My tip weight never changes. But
Mm-hmm.
since I've gone to these Spectra lines, I don't have a lot. Not using a whole lot of
Mm-hmm.
tip weight anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've got a 1/4 ounce in my big plane, and that's not a lot of tip weight. So
Yeah.
anyway, but
The
you'll
Yeah.
get used to
engine
it. Just
too
keep
changes.
do what?
Never quit on that engine either. Always give
Oh
it what
no.
it needs to make it happy.
Yeah. Everybody
Yeah, that's
everybody
for
always
sure.
told me if you ever get the motor right, leave it. You don't have to fool with it. You never have to adjust the motor. And I have gone summers with a Fox 59 that I didn't have to change the needle valve for weeks at a time.
Mm-hmm.
But the higher performance motors, Fox 59 is an antique, archaic beast, and it's a thirsty beast, but it don't change a whole lot. You got a lot of wiggle room in there before you make any difference. But the newer motors, the PAs, well, even a Tiger 60 for that matter, with a new sleeve and piston like Sparky Flies, those things are a little more sensitive, and you make changes. You're going to tweak the needle valve just a little bit, one flight to the
Mm-hmm.
next till you get it right, till you get it the way you want it. And then
Yeah.
you go the rest of the day and you don't change anything. And then you come out tomorrow,
Mm-hmm.
top 20 day or whatever, and you got to
Mm-hmm.
come back and tweak it. Maybe slow it down again. You're always
Mm-hmm.
going to be tweaking. If you get to
Mm-hmm.
where you're satisfied with the way it flies and you don't ever change anything, you're never
Mm-hmm.
going to be a stunt pilot.
Okay. Yeah, that's for sure. As far as for the engine is good. I think I have found the sweet spot. And then yeah, I still have some problems with the airplane trimming stuff. But yeah, it's the waiting, that kills me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But you got a new baby coming. You gonna be busy, Bubba.
Yeah, that's for sure. So yeah, I mean, I have very limited time to test to fly. So if the flying session is only, yeah, trimming, and then you don't have the fun for fly, so that's what yeah, I'm at that condition right now. So yeah, it's kind of sucks
Yeah,
to
I know
have
what
to
you mean.
wait.
I fly a bunch of different airplanes and have made some changes in different airplanes. Like I went out with the SE5 and
Uh-huh.
I made a bunch of changes in it, but it flies so much better now.
You learn
Uh-huh.
something.
But then I go and fly something else and I have to make changes in it. So I know what you mean, and it does
Mhm.
kind of suck. But you
Mhm.
will the more you spend time practicing with making changes, the more you get to
Yeah.
where when you get to field, you know the change you need to make. Joe even makes changes, and he's about as good as I know.
He
Yep.
just
Yep.
tips the nitro can.
Yeah, the
I
nitro
like
can makes a
nitro.
lot of difference, but the electric can do it too.
Absolutely. There's no free
Yep.
ride. When
Yep.
humidity
That,
and temperature changes, if you go to Tucson and fly out there at 8 o'clock in the morning,
Oh
10%
Lord,
nitro may work really good, but at 11
Mhm.
o'clock, it will not.
15 to
Yep.
20.
That's for well. What
And
I
I went out there with
realized
5. Ooh.
what I realize now is my uh troubleshooting time is getting shorter and shorter because I know this doesn't go right. And then yeah, I know more uh I know quicker what to solve, what to change. So yeah,
That's
it's
right.
good. Uh-huh.
That comes with experience. You're learning.
Yes. Yes, that's for sure. Yeah, that's my update.
There you are learning.
Mm-hmm.
You will get there.
Nobody
Well,
stops learning.
Yep.
you
Nobody.
know what you call it when you stop learning?
Dead.
Death.
Dying or
Yeah.
dead. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And different people's got different expectations of what they want. You know, if you're trying to climb that ladder and get to the top 5 in America, you got that. That's a big step, dude.
Mm-hmm.
That's a tall ladder, buddy. Joe's pretty well up there. He knows.
What'd you learn on the SC5? Did you get that wing not to drop?
Yeah, took the moved the lines way forward,
Good show.
and
I've
then I
seen
went
that
and did
before.
yeah, and then I did something that I didn't think would work, but we were out there, and I can't get Vicky to stay a long time launching. She'll stay out there for a while launching the electrics, but she don't like that fuel blowing up in her face. So I have to kind of make it count. So I said, well, I wonder about this. I had a can of 15% with me, and I put some 15% in it. And Joe, it's a different airplane.
It is. And you
That
get to
beast,
rich in the needle, but it makes that drive, baby.
that thing, I need to put the 6-ounce tank back on it. But
That's okay.
that dadgum thing pulls. I mean, it just, wow.
It's
said,
incredible,
whoa,
isn't it?
mama. Yeah, it is.
I've had those lead outs too far back and they're nose heavy. And I think when
Yeah.
you lean on it hard, the aerodynamics go back further and makes it more nose heavy. So the nose will
Yeah.
swing out. The nose swings out. You gain lift inside and lose outside, and they'll duck that wing down.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the guys was telling me it flies like it's tail heavy. It flies like it's tail heavy. Well, I can tell you it ain't tail heavy. So,
When it quits, if it just glides nice, you can
it
tell.
glides
If
beautiful.
you're, yeah, that's.
I've had biplanes that come down like a falling safe. And this one will fly, this one will glide a half a lap with no trouble at all. You gotta get up 45 degrees, you can get at least 3/4 of a lap out of it.
Not even whipping or leaning on it.
No, I don't know how to whip. I don't whip worth a darn right now. I know how, but right now I'm just trying to stand up, you know?
That's all good, Phil. I'm glad you learned things. I'm glad you tried it. I'm tickled you tried
Yeah,
it.
I'm trying it, and it's working much better. Now I've got to cut those lead outs yet again and move them. I took them a little too far forward, I think, so I'm gonna take them back just a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and stagger my lines
To learn
because they're
that,
gonna.
just put a
Yeah.
piece of clay on the front to see.
Yeah,
Put some clay on the front and see if it comes to you. If it doesn't, that may not be the issue too.
well, that's true, but it. I'm just playing. I'm having a good time,
That's
Joe.
it, dude. That's how you learn things. I agree.
But
Try to.
it's
I take pride in making something that they tell me can't work.
well, everybody's told me that this is too heavy and it's too this and it's too that. It ain't that heavy, and it flies great. That 45. I've had 2 people tell me get rid of that motor and get a real motor on it because that Royal's a piece of junk. That Royal starts one flip most of the time.
Well, it
and
might
runs
like
strong.
that nitro. It sounds like it liked the nitro.
Well, it does, but I had to put that thing's got 4 head gaskets in it. It was knocking so hard I thought it was coming apart. And I pulled it down and put 4. I cut a Pepsi can, 3 head gaskets out of a Pepsi can and put in it. Everybody says that's the wrong thing to use. It's too soft, and it ain't too soft. It is not too soft. It's good stuff and it works. And I've got it in 5 of my engines. I drink Pepsi, so I use Pepsi cans. If I drank Budweiser, I'd use a Budweiser can.
If it's working for you, leave it alone.
That's it. It works. But it works, and I got the thing working. Even I just knew when I put the 15 in it, that's gonna knock like a 10 penny finishing off with a greasy ball peen hammer. It did not. It surprised me. It went up and ran and just, I think it was belching fire, but it was running good. That thing was really sounded good and ran good. But boy, when I pulled up on it for the wing over, I mean, it came up like a PA ship. My goodness, I got a tiger by the tail here.
I like me some of this.
Yeah, I like it too. It was fun.
Hey, Joe, I had a question on your Venus. Is the airplane painted Dana cream?
No, it's translucent. I'm not sure what Pete used, but I think it's he dyed everything. Yes.
It looks like A-line dye.
You can see the wood grain in the whole airplane, Spark. You can see through.
Yeah, I didn't remember, and they just asked me that question this morning on the Joe and his Venus thread.
Yeah.
We're still watching it. He says, "Is that Dana cream?" I didn't know how to answer that.
No, it's just dyed. It's dyed, but the red and yellow's paint, but you can't feel them. It's all smooth. You know, that boy's something too. He can build. That's a 45-ounce airplane. It's a nice bird.
Build one of those. It's just a nobler reworked. I got
It's
to
quite
looking
a
at
bit
parts.
bigger.
Oh, it's bigger, but the wing is the same. It's just you got 6 inches of tip on each side.
Yeah, I think the root's 13.5 inches at the root.
It's a big airplane. It's a nice airplane. I like it.
Nice airplane. Mario, he did good on that. But you know, Richard Dolliver's talked about a lot of that too. You know, it's not so much what you got, it's how it's trim and powered. You can take
Yeah.
a lot of wings and a lot of tails, the right power and trim, you can make them do pretty darn good.
Well, that 46, I wouldn't have thought had the kind of power that that one's got, but then you're using enough nitro in it.
It thinks it's a 60.
It thinks it's a 60. It sounds like a 60. Runs great.
Got a 12-inch prop on it.
Yeah.
I like that airplane. I flew that in King Orange too. And what they call it, King Orange, they had nostalgia. So I flew the classic airplane against piped airplanes.
Yeah.
And I whooped them. I liked it.
Joe,
You start
could
on
whoop most
nostalgia.
people.
Maybe, but nostalgia, man, there's nostalgia airplanes can still be valuable at the Nats today.
SV-11.
SV-11, they're still flying
Yeah.
those at the Nats level today. And you're
Yeah.
flying that against classic airplanes? Come on.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I don't think that's right, but I mean, they're 30 years old, so it's legal, but it don't seem right.
Yeah, but a 60 model is 64 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
It's okay. It's just go fly and have fun.
It's just flying toy airplanes. I mean,
That's right.
that's like I was talking to the Chinese guy, the Chinese girl and guy when they were with the worlds. I said, it ain't like we're talking politics. We're talking toy airplanes. We ain't going to solve all the world's problems, but on the other hand, we're talking toy airplanes.
It
We
don't
don't have
matter.
to
They hate
solve.
their government anyway.
The what?
It don't matter. They hate their government anyway.
That's what surprised me. I didn't want to say anything, but that's what surprised me. I don't think they're crazy about their own government.
No.
I think if they'd had the choice, they'd have stayed over here. I
That's
know one thing.
that one guy that had the mean look on his face. He was the handler. He's taking
Oh
it
yeah,
back.
yeah, yeah. That was the guy that was in charge of getting them all back. If they didn't all come back, he wasn't gonna go back because he knew what'd be waiting for him.
I had a good week. I enjoyed that whole week.
I did too. I really enjoyed those people. They were a lot of fun. Everybody
People are
told me
just
they were going to
people.
be sticklers, and they weren't. They were a lot of
They're
fun.
just people.
Yeah, it is.
They're just people. The same ones were in France when we was over there at the same hotel. We come in one night, cleaning night. We'd been to McDonald's. And I said, what are you guys doing eating Mexican food in France? Come on, Joe, we got lots of tacos. Have tacos with us. They had bags full of tacos. They thought that was so fun. I said, dude, I appreciate it. We had McDonald's. We like McDonald's too. They're all right. They're just people, man. They're all right.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't handle that daggone McDonald's stuff anymore. I ate so much of that when I was in high school. That was every day at lunch. We'd run down to McDonald's.
Ooh,
I can't touch them things.
Fine
Tastes like
dining, Big M.
Yeah. The one time that I really enjoyed McDonald's, I went to Japan. And if you've seen that old Wendy's commercial where they showed Bon Appetit, and it was a great big plate, and they'd made a smiley face on it. That was all you got for dinner. And it was stuff that I didn't know what the dickens I was eating. When I got back to the hotel, I walked down to the McDonald's. I waited about 20 minutes, and I walked down to the McDonald's to get me something to eat. And there's Yuita and 3 other meaty engineers in there. We wonder how long it take you.
Well, if you
Oh,
go
Lord.
somewhere and the food's still moving, don't eat it.
Oh God. I saw stuff in Japan that I won't even mention on here because it makes some of you sick. But it was an experience for me. I'm an old country boy. I ain't never seen stuff like that before. Tables that slide in half and got a circle cut in the middle of them. That's all I'm gonna say about it. But some of you know what that is. I'd never seen that before. I saw that actually happen that night. No, let me out of here. I'm gonna throw up. Whoa, come here, Jack. Don't fall down.
I'm going to get off here. Colleen wants to watch The Voice, so we're going to get to watching that.
That
Good
sounds like
seeing
a-
everybody.
Good seeing
Tell
you.
Colleen
Good
hello.
seeing
Have
you.
a great Thanksgiving.
You all too.
Have a great
Eat
Thanksgiving. Take care of
Eat some
yourself.
turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy, Phil.
I intend to. Hey,
Me
my
too.
grandkids are bringing. One of my grandkids is bringing the turkey. The other one's bringing the ham. And I've forgotten what everybody else is bringing, but we got the whole family comes here for dinner every year. And this year, Vicky's not going to have to do all the cooking, which is going to be wonderful.
That's fantastic. Oh, Colleen
Yeah,
does
then-
the turkey and the gravy and stuff, but Angie brings stuff, and we got other people bring other things. But yeah, it's all good.
One question before you go, Joe. Cranberry sauce in a can or the regular cranberry sauce?
I want grape jelly. I don't need cranberry sauce.
Cranberry sauce in a can is way better than raw cranberries.
I never cared for cranberry sauce anyhow.
I agree.
I'm with you, Joe.
Put peanut butter on your toast, put the whole can piece on it, and act like that's jelly. Pour some sugar on it, and act like it's jelly.
I agree with you, Joe.
No.
No.
Take care, Mark. See y'all.
See ya.
Y'all take
Take
care.
care, Joe. Happy Thanksgiving.
You
Happy
also.
Thanksgiving.
All right. Thank y'all.
Mark, tell me something. How many versions of the Bearcat are there? Because the flat side one is the 3. I thought the one I'm building is the 3, and it's got the molded sides. I mean, he molded the fuselage shells and put it together. I guess it's a 4. That would make the BBQ be the 5. And there's a 6 that's got no, it's the BBQB is the 6, and there's a 5 that's the one that I'm building that has cuffs and has now there's something else. I've forgotten what.
And that,
It's
is
got
that a
cuffs.
critical mass?
No, critical mass is a
Sea Fury.
Bearcat.
Sea Fury. Yeah.
100-ounce lumber
The
wagon?
only ones I know of are the Bearcat 1, which is really what he called a Bearcat 2, was the
Yeah.
first one he published in Model Aviation. I
Yeah.
think he flew that in the 69 Nats. And then he built another Bearcat with molded shells. And that's the one he called the Bearcat 3. And he flew that in the 1970 Nats. And then he went on to the Sea Fury after that. And then years
Yeah.
later, he came back and built the BBQB Bearcat.
Yeah,
in
he
the
skipped a
90s.
bunch of years, but he built the Mustang and won the Nats with it twice first.
Right. Well, yeah, he had all those other planes too there.
Well, there weren't any other planes. That was it. Bearcats had the Bearcat, the Sea Fury, the Mustang, and then the new Sea Fury, which is called Critical Mass. But
Yeah, but he built many versions of the P-51.
yeah, the only 2 that were famous was the Snaggletooth, which is in the
Yeah.
museum, and then the Easy 2 Sugar, which crashed right before the World Championships over when the motor quit overhead. Yeah, I talked to him at length about that. He was sick about that, boy. Ooh.
Back then, the airplanes were a lot better, I think. I mean, they looked like airplanes. Now they look.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I tell you what, I'm hoping to get back to work on my Bearcats here soon, but
Did anybody in the
I've
world
been-
have
I've
a
been-
semi-scale plane? I don't think so, did they?
No,
no,
they
I
flew
haven't seen anybody at
sharks.
the Worlds with semi-scale.
It was Sharknado.
Yeah, that's what it was, Sharknado. The closest thing I saw there to a scale plane was a R3. Looks like a GB that's been, I mean, really stretched,
Yeah,
but it was pretty.
it's cool.
It
The
was.
Red Bull one.
Yeah, well, Red Bull, and there was 2. One was Red Bull and one was another. I forgot what the other one was. but Red Bull had that twin engine, twin prop, one way,
Counter
one.
rotating. That was
Yeah.
impressive.
That was impressive. But I talked to Paul Walker and several others, and they said it was a solution to a problem that no longer exists. So I don't know what to believe, guys. I'm just an advanced flyer. I don't know. I don't know what to think about all these
Well, I've
super.
always been a fan of semi-scale airplanes, and right now
I
there aren't
have
very
too.
many in competition, serious competition.
Well, it's kind of where I'm coming from, Mark. I figure I'm never going to be in contest. I'm never going to contest Paul Walker for a win anyway. So I'm going to go have fun getting as far as I can get.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm going to try to get something built I mean, I've got a bunch of new planes. Everything I've got coming is not semi-scale, with the exception of the Bearcat and the Mustang profile. But I'm going to build another Mustang. But anyway, my reasoning is, for years I kept going bigger and bigger and trying to build the new stuff that's in vogue, you know. And now I've gotten to the point where I'm retired and I can build them, but I realize my shoulder won't let me fly them. So I'm going back to the 46 size airplanes, the Mustangs, the Bearcats, like what you got. I know you got a 60 in it, so did Al, but I'll probably have 60 in it too. But it's a smaller airplane. It's not near so darn heavy. Maybe I
Right.
can fly it, but I already know from experience, a 70-ounce airplane that flies well enough to be competitive, I can't hold on to. I go out the field, and after 4 flights, my shoulder's done. So I'm going to just build something I can have fun with and go have fun. And if I can fly it in competition and do well, I'm going to fly it. I'm going to have fun. But if I can't, then I'll fly it a few flights that I can and come home. I don't have any problem going to a contest though, and if they need a judge or they need a runner or they need something, help them out with it. I mean, if more people don't start helping out, we're going to have less and less contests. Because
Yep.
it's just like we lost the 2 Huntersville contest. I talked to Will about that and asked him what happened. And he says, well, basically, we got 6 people in the club that show up and do stuff. You can't hold a contest with 6 people. So, if you don't have some people volunteer to do some of the jobs, you just can't do it. 6 people don't make a contest unless you're just going to have one event or 2 events, maybe. But trying to have a full slate of events like we always had at Huntersville, our guys started dying off and retiring, and Will can't do it all.
I really liked that contest. I liked the dump there. That was cool.
Yeah. We were out there practice flying a few weeks ago and had a guy that lives in a house over there come over just ranting and raving and screaming. We're making too much noise. And I looked around and I said, dude, what kind of drugs are you on? And he looked at me just as serious. And I said, sir, there's not a gas motor, there's not a fuel motor out here. Everybody out here today has flown electric. We're all flying electric motors. Nobody's making more noise. You can talk over anything we're flying.
Tell him to check his neighbor's lawnmower.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about
That's
right.
what I tell him.
Come here,
What's
Jack.
the difference between a lawnmower and this?
Well, I'm telling you, the weed eaters are a whole lot louder than the motor,
Yep.
plane. It's fine.
The
Oh,
last
Lordy.
airplane I flew at Huntersville was a crash. Were you there when I crashed that airplane?
Yeah, the B-47.
No, no, no.
No, the profile.
Yeah, it was a
The
profile.
profile. Boy, that was a good looking airplane. It came over and I thought, Sparky's running late. Bam. Oh God.
No controls. Push
I
right.
went and sat in the building. It just made me sick. I didn't even want to go look at it. A horn pulled out or something.
No, it was a pilot error or the mechanic error. I didn't tighten up the bolt on the slider.
Oh no.
And I felt that it was getting really weird, and I was going through the pattern, and I just kept right on going, and I gave it up, and it just drove itself right into the ground. Only had flap control, didn't have no elevator.
Ouch.
I ruined an engine. That was on that funky circle on the left, the one that has the carrier jump on it.
Yeah. That's one I always have to fly on for some reason. I don't know what it is, but that's the one I always end up flying on, that or the old time circle, which is grass. But yeah, those circles are getting in bad shape. Winston-Salem, if we could get our third circle back,
Want to get on TV?
we'd move contests up here and have contests up here, but I don't know when they're ever going to let us have our circle back. It's a mess. They say we're going to have
Oh, it's up here.
they say we're going to have a carpet, indoor outdoor carpet up there, whatever they call it, it's the AstroTurf. I'd rather have grass because I've seen the way Winston puts down AstroTurf, and it'll have concrete or something under it. Yeah, I don't know. They just do some interesting things.
You gotta have grass like Joe Nall. Circle is
Oh, that's
heaven.
carpet. Man, that's grass carpet down there. They keep it mowed short and it's beautiful.
It's
Its fields are AstroTurf, and they're nice, but man, I don't know.
I saw somebody's circle in Florida that looked like tennis courts or something. You know who
Yeah.
that is?
No,
I
I
can't
haven't been to Florida contest in 2 or 3 years now.
can't remember where I saw it, but it was just only one circle in his backyard or whatever. It was like a tennis court. It was beautiful.
Ah,
Kind of
that'd
like
be neat.
Mark's friend that has that circle behind his hangar or whatever that is.
Yeah,
Yeah, Lynn Boss has got his concrete circle in his
yeah,
backyard.
that's nice. That's really
I was
nice.
down in Florida last year visiting my grandkids, and my grandsons were playing soccer, and the soccer field they were playing on down there was just like a golf green. I couldn't
Yeah.
believe how nice that grass was. I guess it's a climate or something, but
Did you say, "Hey,
Well,
model airplane flying here"?
yeah, I didn't
I
have a plane
guarantee
with me,
it's
but I would have been. I mean, I took a picture and I sent it to Joe Gilbert. I said, "Look how smooth this grass is down here in Florida."
The only problem is those fields are rutted up. You know, they don't roll them. The
Well,
grass is nice.
this one wasn't rutted. I mean, I don't know what they did to it, but it was beautiful. Wasn't quite a golf green, but it was
under
pretty
those
close.
fields. Yeah,
I don't know how many of you guys have ever flown at SIG on the runway there behind Hazel's house.
No.
It looked real nice until you landed crosswind and went through the ruts at the airplane. They did try to roll it, but it was not great. So you tried to land lengthways with the runway. That was a good contest too.
I saw the runway at Tyler Perry's place. I've only seen pictures. 10,000-foot runway for his model airplanes. He likes commercial
Rami
airliner
RC.
type airplanes. Yeah, heavy RC stuff.
No,
And
Rami
he's got
RC.
a C-141 that is huge. I mean, he's got some really nice stuff. His building barn, and he's got a crew that works in there, but his building barn is twice as big as my house. I mean, that's a huge place.
Rami
Good gracious.
RC is the guy who he sponsors.
Remy.
RAMY RC. You can search his
Oh,
channel. He builds all those big airplanes for Tyler
yeah.
Perry.
Well, they're molded and they're really nice. Boy,
Yeah.
he's got some beautiful stuff.
He got some deep pockets.
Well, yeah, he's got a channel that's got about 10 shows that he came up with. He's got some deep pockets, but he's very talented. I don't appreciate his humor in many cases, but he is very talented. He understands what he's doing, even if I don't. But can't knock a guy that's had as much success as he's had because it works for him.
Hey, Mark, that Seafire, did you ever hear from John back in regards to the plans that I showed you?
And I'm trying to remember where we left that off. I did get the plans from Walter.
Okay, good.
John talked to him and Walter didn't want to release him. And then he said, "Who's it for?" And then John told him it was me. He said, "Oh, Mark's done. I've done a lot of work for Mark." He says he can have him, but just tell him not to give him to anybody else. So I've got the CAD plan here that John gave me. It originally
Okay.
came from, I guess John did it originally for Walter.
Yeah, okay.
Is that the Seafire or the?
Yeah, the Seafire.
Well, it's a Spitfire. I mean,
Yeah, I've seen it.
Well,
It's beautiful.
what's funny is when I got that from Walter, I called him about copying the plans, and he said it was okay. And I says, "Well, can I send you, so much money for every one that I copy?" And he didn't want any money, but I've only sent it to just a couple of people that asked me and stuff. So
Yeah, that's a great little
it'd be nice
airplane.
to see one flying.
Yeah, well, I got a buddy that's got one, and I'm looking forward when the weather opens up. I'm gonna go back up Brian's house and fly. He's another guy that's got a circle out in his backyard. It's grass, but we went up there and I flew the SC5, and Tommy flew, and a bunch of us had a real good time up there one day. And he's got a garage that has a second floor, and it's a workshop and model hangar. He must have, if I said 40 airplanes, I'm probably underestimating. And I'm not talking about junk airplanes. I'm talking about really nice stuff. Brian Moore, and he's got some really pretty airplanes. Mark, you may have met him at Brodak. He was at Brodak, been there several times. But he's a heck of a builder.
what's his name?
Brian Moore.
Hey,
He
Phil,
likes Mustangs.
hold on a second. I'm going to end the show on YouTube. Appreciate everybody watching. The guys that are here, we're going to turn it over to Gary because my normal guy didn't come in tonight. And be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to work on this fuselage during the day tomorrow. Let's see here. We got to move this. So, fair winds, tight lines. See you.
Have a nice
Spark, have you
Thanksgiving,
heard
Spark.
anything out of Dennis?
No.
I hadn't either.